Hello everyone and welcome back to Wanderlust Keva, and today I'm going to talk to you about the top 12 common things that first time cruisers make that you should avoid. So stay tuned and let's get into it. So mistake number one, not knowing which documents you need in order to go on your cruise. So for most persons, depending on where you live, normally you need a passport that includes a visa, or you just need your birth certificate. So those are the main things that you would need to travel on a cruise. They have all that information on their website or online so that you can check and see what documents you need in order to travel on a cruise. And I'm a travel agent, so if you need my assistance, I'll leave my information in the description box below and you can reach out to me. Mistake number two, most first-time cruisers try to purchase the cheapest cruise they could find. And while we're all trying to save a buck here and there, that's not always the best decision. When you get a cheaper room, it's usually because either you're on a lower floor or you're maybe to the front of the ship. And a lot of people don't like the front of the ship because if you get seasick, that's one of the main places where you get seasick. The middle of the ship is a lot more better for persons that may be worried about being seasick. Also, depending on the floor, if you want to be on a higher level, then you're going to pay more. So don't expect to be on a high level at a low cost. You're going to be on one of the lower levels of the ship. Also, there may be some obstructed views, meaning if you have an ocean view or a balcony room, there may be a lifeboat that's outside your window that's blocking your view, or something that may be there to cause your view not be as good as the regular. So make sure pay attention to those things, and if you're booking with a travel agent, make sure ask those things or tell them what you want from what you don't want when you're booking your cruise. Mistake number three, not paying your gratuities while booking. A lot of persons decide that they want to pay their gratuities while on the ship or tip while they're on the ship. And while you do that, Carnival doesn't know that you're doing this. So you'll be very surprised at the end of your cruise when you get a bill for gratuities. It's just best to pay your gratuities in advance. I always do this for all my clients so that you won't have any of this to worry about. And at the same time, you still want to tip whilst you're on the cruise. But there is no must that you tip because you would have already paid your gratuities in advance. Also, sometimes the gratuities may end up being even more if you wait until you get on the ship. So it's just best to pay your gratuities in advance and not have to worry about any of that. Mistake number four, not planning your transportation to the cruise port. Now, a lot of persons don't think that this is such a big deal, but it is a big deal, and this has caused a lot of persons to actually miss their cruise because there's a lot of unforeseen circumstances that you just don't have any control over that may happen. So you always want to make sure, leave room for mistakes. You want to make sure that you already know how you're going to get, whether you're coming from the airport and going straight to the cruise port, or if you're at a hotel, Airbnb, or wherever you're staying, you want to know in advance how you're getting from that location to your cruise port, and also save enough time, like I said, in case of any unforeseen circumstances, so that you would be there on time. Mistake number five, not purchasing your Wi-Fi package, excursions, drink packages, spa, any specialty restaurants, anything that you can purchase on the Carnival app, paying for those before the cruise so that you get the best price, because a lot of persons are surprised when they are on the cruise and the price costs more. So it's best to do those in advance. That way you don't have to worry about paying for any of those while you're on the cruise ship. Mistake number six, overpacking or not even knowing what to pack. So a lot of persons pack so many different things for their cruise because they don't know what to expect, and they end up overpacking. Half of the stuff they end up not using, not wearing. So they actually have a section on carnival.com where you can check to see some of the things that you should pack that they recommend. But always pack things that you know that you're going to use. A lot of persons think that because they have formal night, they have to dress in big ball gowns. It's not necessary if you don't want to, and you don't want to bring anything that you're not going to use. So it's really up to you and your preference. You just want to make sure to bring the things that's necessary. Most cruises are in the Caribbean, so it's hot most of the time. So you want to make sure bring cool clothes, you want to bring slippers, you want to make sure bring those hats, shades. You also want to bring your medication and any lip balms, suntan, stuff like that that you know you're gonna need. Now, even though some of the cruises may be hot, in the nighttime does get cold, or sometimes the different areas where they have the shows are really cold. So you still may want to bring a sweater, or if it happens to be rainy, you want to make sure bring a raincoat or an umbrella. So you just want to stay prepared, but there is a list that you can find on the website and get more clarity on those. Mistake number 7, traveling the day of your cruise. Now, while you may not have any other option, then I would say try to get on that first flight out so that you can have enough time and space in case of any unforeseen circumstances, because you just don't know what could happen. If your flight gets delayed and you did come on an earlier flight, at least you still have time in order to reach the cruise port on time and don't miss your cruise, because nothing is worse than losing out on your whole experience, a lot of wasted time, a lot of wasted money. If possible, I recommend you coming from the night before and sleeping overnight, and then first thing in the morning you head straight to the cruise port. Depending on what time you may have checked in for, it's just best to plan this in advance and make sure that you're choosing the right time based on what's available to you. Mistake number 8 is packing your boarding passes and your different travel documents like your passport or your birth certificate in your luggage that you're going to be sending with the porters. So the porters are the persons that take your luggage once you reach the cruise port, and they take them straight to your room, because you don't want to carry around the big heavier luggage with you while you're checking in, because you have different escalators and stuff that you have to go in. You want to make sure that you have a separate bag, maybe a backpack or some purse that you're carrying with you when you're going to check in, and make sure that those documents you are in those bags and not in the bag that you're going to give the porter, because if they carry that, your luggage is going to get lost and mixed up with so many other luggage, and it's going to take them a while to find that, and that's going to ruin your whole experience for that day. So just make sure that you don't pack them in your luggage that you're carrying, but more so in a backpack or whatever bag you're going to be carrying with you while you're checking in. Mistake number 9, trying to bring prohibited items on board the ship. Now, first time cruises as well as season cruises try this all the time. Sometimes they may get away with it, but for the most part they don't. So stuff like alcohol and drugs, want to make sure don't bring those types of stuff or anything that may seem like a weapon, because they would be confiscated or disposed of, and you may even go to jail depending on what is it that you're trying to bring. Then there's also stuff like water bottles that they don't allow, as well as irons or anything that has heating elements to it. But again, they do have all of these things listed on the website so that you can go ahead and see what those are, so that you don't have your stuff taken away while you're checking in, or maybe even disposed of. So you just check online and see what those items are beforehand to avoid this happening. Mistake number 10, not going to your muster station as soon as you board the ship. Now, I know when we first board the ship, there's so much to see, there's so much excitement going on, but trust me, the best thing to do is go to your muster stations and just get over it. It only takes about 5 minutes, and the muster station is really where they have a safety briefing with you in case there's any emergency. Whatever muster station that you have, it's going to be on your sign and sail card. You go to that muster station, they'll give you a safety briefing, and that is the section where you're also to come if there is an emergency. Everyone have to do it, and they won't move the ship until everyone's done it. Mistake number 11, not knowing what's included or free on your cruise. So a lot of persons get excited, especially on day one, especially when the servers come to you and offer you a drink, you take it, until you realize they come to you and ask you to sign, and you're like, what am I signing for? But you're signing because that drink that you just got was not free. So make sure you don't get caught ordering anything or going and getting any services that you're unable to pay for, because you're going to have a bill and you won't be able to leave the ship until you pay those bills at the end of your cruise. So make sure you know what's free, and it's simple. You can really just ask. You could just ask whatever servers or wherever you're going, ask if this is included or this is something that I have to pay additional for, and they will let you know. Mistake number 12, not reading or following the disembarkation rules. So the last day of cruise, everybody's ready to go. Some may have earlier flights or whatnot, but they actually have times, and they will call your muster station number in order, and you are not supposed to try to disembark until they would have called your number, because sometimes they will send you back, and it's really embarrassing. It's a lot of work to get there, and you just don't want that to happen. A day or two before your cruise ends, they put a letter at your door with the instructions. Make sure you read them, because there's a lot of important information there. If you want them to take your bag down for you so that you don't have to struggle with so much different luggage, you can do that. But just make sure, say the things that you need to make sure the day that you actually leaving, that you actually have whatever is needed in order for you to get dressed. Because we've seen persons leave in pajamas, all because they sent down their luggage and they forgot that they even needed clothes to wear the next day. So just make sure read the instructions. If you want to leave your bag, you have to leave it out the night before outside your door, and once you get down, they will have them there in particular sections for you to receive them, instead of you having to lift all of that. But for me, I really prefer to carry my own luggage, because normally I just bring one suitcase, and I just prefer to have everything with me before I leave. But there's different options that you can choose. Just make sure you choose the right one, but also listen and follow the disembarkation instructions. But I'd like to hear in the comment section any mistakes that you've made on your first cruise, or maybe as a seasoned cruiser, you may still be making some of these mistakes. And I just hope this video was helpful to someone. If you want more videos like this, subscribe to my channel and make sure you hit that notification bell. But thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and see you next time.